wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares through. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. walking the
Hello, good evening, and welcome to this evening's WeArePorts live stream of Portadown against Warrenpoint Town in the Mid Ulster Cup. My name is Mark Beattie, and I'm on commentary this evening, and I'm joined by Portadown under 20s manager Stephen Hines. Stephen, how's things?
All good, Mark. Thanks for inviting me. Looking forward to it. Nice fresh night for it, so hopefully we'll see the kids give a good performance like they did in the last round.
Absolutely, you said the kids are. We'll flash up the team sheets here for this evening's game. Obviously, there's a lot of changes for the Portadown side. An awful lot of changes, actually. Probably a full 11 change from Saturday's lineup. If we can just get the team sheets up here. All right, so there's a couple of senior players for Portadown: George Tipton, Sam Ward, Simon McLeod, John Sally. But the rest of them are as I said, pretty much changed 11 from the usual setup.
We know by history going past in the games like this here usually gives the kids a chance, and it's a great opportunity for some of them, probably more so tonight because they've got a few senior players around them which should really help them through a game like this here. They're in for a tough test, no doubt, because Warrenpoint have came very strong, which probably I'm not too surprised about, Mark, because when you're bottom of the league you need a confidence booster, and matches like this here can sometimes change the confidence in the change room by getting a good win. So really good test for the young kids here tonight, and let's see how they do.
Absolutely. Portadown about to get us kicked off here once the officials make their way across the pitch.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a couple of the audio issues there, but I think we're all sorted now. Warrenpoint getting off to a bit of a an early start there. But Portadown holding firm at the minute. Obviously, as we're saying there, Portadown have won very young, and that's really how Matthew Tipton takes this tournament as a chance to blood some of the young guys and give them experience of what a first team match day is like.
Yeah. No, very much so. I'm just looking out there. First whenever you left the seat there, Mark, first couple of minutes, Warrenpoint got a wee bit of the ball and got a cross into the box early, but probably this is where the nerves are just probably settling down a wee bit, because it is a first team game and they have never been here before. But you're looking really to the likes of the experienced players in the teams, the Sammy McLeod, and we'll talk about George Tipton there, his experience. He's played over 50 first team games, so you're looking at these guys to settle the younger kids down, and have no doubt they'll come into the game and grow into it as the minutes come on the clock.
Absolutely. McCaffrey on the ball here, trying to spread it wide to Colin Deasy on the right hand side, but good challenge there from the Portadown defender Jack Ovens, playing at left back here this evening. Quick throw in here from Warrenpoint, trying to get on the ball early. Deasy clips in across, well headed away by Tommy Smith, well read there by the centre half, but only as far as 1 point. Player gets a strike away and into the bottom corner. Beats Harry Doherty for the first goal of this evening's game.
Yeah, Johnny McCullough sort of just tried to clear that away at the edge of the box there, and it sort of bobbled about and then didn't react quick enough just to close it down. And I think that's what you're going to find when you step up the levels. Certainly the pace of it, you don't get the time that you have to do, in an under-20s game. So very early on, they'll have seen what the pace of this game's like, and they're just going to have to step up to it quickly here.
Absolutely. It was Keelan Dillon there with the first goal for Warrenpoint Town. It's the first sight of goal really that the visitors had, and he finished with aplomb. I have to say, it was a tidy finish into the bottom corner.
Good strike, but we could have closed it down, let's be honest about it, and that's where they'll have to learn.
Yeah, early goal here for the visitors. It's Portadown 0, Warrenpoint Town 1 in the quarter-final of the Mid Ulster Cup. Only a few minutes in to the game here, and the visitors have an early lead. It'll be up to a few of the Portadown senior-ish players to really calm this down and get the young lads playing the football that they do have the talent to play, really. Yeah,
they haven't really got a chance to get their foot in the ball and play it about yet. Warrenpoint have had the majority of the possession at the minute, so they really just need to let's get the foot in the ball at any chance here and get string a few passes together to get the confidence up.
Gavin Pears spreading it wide to his fellow centre half Stephen Dunn.
Yeah, a lot of experience there. Gavin Pears has been riding, League of Ireland and Glentoran, and I know I think the last match he was really injured was against Portadown first team up there last year, so he's only come back into it, but bucket load of experience, so it is at the back line for them there.
Really, there's experience all over the park. When you look at Warrenpoint, Fran McCaffrey's been about in Irish League a long time. Andy Coleman as well has played at numerous clubs all around the Irish League. So there's Alan O'Sullivan's been a good player in the Irish League the last couple of years as well. So there's definitely it's youth against experience here this evening at Shamrock Park, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Alan O'Sullivan would be a big one to watch there, especially with the back four. As young as it is, there's another goal break.
McCaffrey looks like McCaffrey has got the second goal here this evening. It was a Alan O'Sullivan assist. He played through his captain and from a few yards out, really around the penalty spot. He lobbed Harry Doherty. A really smart finish there from Francis McCaffrey, and it puts the visitors 2-0 up here.
He's got in behind there, Tommy Smith, but I'd have to say where the way they've set up there, they're sitting with the two in midfield, and Fran McCaffrey, their captain's just sitting at the head of that there, the head of the two there, the tip of it, and he's obviously playing in a free role. So for me, a midfielder has got to pick him up, and the runner in there. So one of the midfielders, either George or Sammy, I'd been looking at them and sort of questioning why did they not go with the runner.
Were they winning the throw in there and around the halfway line? Disappointing start here from the young guys. You sort of want to get over the first 10 minutes, don't you, when you have a young side like that out?
Exactly. You sort of look at it, at this stage, and someone's really going to have to, as I said earlier, put the foot on it and help the kids out. But listen, it's a back four that's young, but if you look ahead there, you've got Sammy McLeod and George Tipton and Sam Ward, experienced first team players, and obviously Harry Anderson, who has had a very stop-start Portadown career since he's come back from Portsmouth. and he's been away with the 21. So you've got him and Sally up front there, with obviously Johnny, the other younger one, on the right hand side. You know, so you've still plenty of experience there, Mark.
George Tipton on the left hand side trying to string a ball into the middle for Adam Sally, but he can't quite get his head onto it enough and make enough contact to get it under control, and Warrenpoint can tidy up. Stephen Dunn with the hook clearance away. Tommy Smith, the captain for the season's game, clears his header out for Warrenpoint throw in. Stephen Dunn tries to find a channel ball to O'Sullivan, but it's overhit and straight through the Portadown keeper Harry Doherty. Obviously this evening's game is being live streamed on YouTube, free of charge, so we're hoping everybody can tune in and watch tonight's proceedings. We obviously stream all of our home games here at Shamrock Park, all the ones we're allowed to, and there's the odd game that will be streamed by BBC or Sky TV, so we're not allowed to stream them ones, but every other game is streamed through Performance Sports TV. You can purchase every stream here, so hopefully this shows you the high quality stream that we do provide. And
see there again, Mark McCaffrey's getting a lot of space there, just in the middle of the park, in behind the front man there. So you know they're going to have to get to him very quick here, because he's sort of dictating the way they're playing here at the minute.
Sally hooking around the corner, wins the throw in. Funny, I've seen Fran McCaffrey play against senior sides and do this. You know, he picks up them wee pockets of space, and it's so hard. The defender can't come out and meet him. Midfielders need to drop that wee bit deeper to go and try to cover it. It's a wee pocket of space that is difficult to get the measure of.
Yeah, it can be difficult, especially if you have two in there, but with three in there tonight. So you know, for me, you know, the three boys have got to know where they're at. They've got to know which man they're on, and sometimes, you know, football can't be as simple as just getting closer to your man and getting the better of your opponent. And at the minute, we're certainly not, you know, getting close to Fran McCaffrey. Again, if you see the break, he picks it up straight away, and there opens the play up to the wide man.
Wade Slater with a wee bit of room here, matched up with Jack Ovens, but Ovens does really well to nip in and get a clearance. Only as far as Deasy this time, and he tries to go in field, and combination of Sam Ward and Tommy Smith can get the ball back under Portadown's spell. Harry Murphy under pressure from Sullivan, finds the feet of Harry Anderson, does well to hold off a challenge of Gavin Peers and find a red shirt. Sam Ward is dispossessed there in the middle of the midfield, and Dillon picks the ball up, goes wide to ball whips and a really delicious cross into the back post, but just out of the reach of O'Sullivan and Ward's and Luke Wade Slater at the back post, and it goes to safety for Portadown.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of joy in wide areas here, so they are, and the ball was a very dangerous ball across the box. Thankfully it just went past there, but still haven't really got our foot in the ball. Long ball here, made it cut out the Warrenpoint defence. Harry Anderson looks like he's onside. He clips it over Andy Coleman, and just under the crossbar, and gets Portadown back into this game. A lovely rangy long pass over the Warrenpoint Town defence, caught them out. Harry Anderson timed his run to perfection and got there just before the onrush from Coleman to clip it over him, and just sneaked under the crossbar. Yeah, it took his goal very well. I think what both sort of looked there was the flag going to go up, but straight away the linesman indicated that he was onside, so he showed a bit of composure there. And again, you know, for a striker has to score goals to get confidence up. Matches like this here will be invaluable to Harry to get his confidence back up since he's came back to the club. Absolutely. Portadown 1, Warrenpoint Town 2. Yeah, Adam Sally nipping the ball off Stephen Dunn, goes outside him. Really low, powerful drive, but Coleman can get down to it and turn it back for a Portadown corner. Yeah, good play from Adam Sally there. Just reacted straight away, and sometimes that's all it takes here at the minute. We've give them a wee bit too much space, a wee bit too much respect, and sometimes we just need to be getting closer to them. And the past couple of minutes, that's all that's happened. We've got closer to the man, won the ball back, and it's ended up in an attack to us. So Sam Ward with the delivery opportunity here. Whips the ball into the back post. Tommy Smith's the closest to it, but it's just over his head, and Warrenpoint Town can relieve the pressure. Wade Slater goes back to Deasy, who draws a foul from, I think it's Johnny McCullough. It's Johnny McCullough, isn't it? You're going to have to help me with a few of these names here. Yes, it's Johnny McCullough, number 43. Johnny McCullough has started the season off very well at 20s. You know, you tend to forget some of these guys' ages. You know, if you go across the guys that we're talking about, he's been brought in the starting lineup. Johnny McCullough, 16. Matty Robinson at right back, 16. Harry Murphy and Tommy. Harry's just 18 come the end of the week. Tommy 17, and Jack Ovens, who's a right back playing out of position even at 17. So some of these guys haven't even played a lot of 20s games, you know, because of the whole COVID thing last year. So it is a big ask, but matches like this here are invaluable to especially clubs, you know, in Portadown situation where they have to, you know, promote youth. And fair play to Tippy, you know, since I've come in, he's definitely wanted to promote youth and give them the chance.
Harry Murphy with the headed clearance there from a Stephen Ball cross on the left hand side for Warrenpoint. Good read in the game here by the big centre half. Got his body in the right position to get that clearance away. Attack and throw in here for the visitors. Stephen Ball with another chance here for a throw in. Goes to Dillon, edge of the box, tries to get a shot away, but it's well blocked by Tommy Smith. Tipton finds Solly, who tries to go around the corner for Anderson, but
Harry was just offside there.
Advantage played here, and Daisy comes out with it. Finds Wade Slater, who returns the ball to him. Early ball trying to find O'Sullivan, but Smith's there to cut it out, and McLeod goes forward to Anderson. Stephen Ball with an early cross to O'Sullivan, but Murphy can head it clear. Wade Slater looking for options ahead. Finds a run O'Sullivan, who goes wide to McCaffrey. Hutchinson finds Daisy. Hutchinson comes inside. McCaffrey taking the sting out of that hard low pass and does well to find Daisy, who returns it to him. Stephen Dunn. Dylan Quinn goes out to Daisy. Warrenpoint Town taking a slow rhythmic build up here, trying to move Portadown about and see if their shape can move.
They're keeping the ball well, so they are. But I'd have to say now, after, you know, getting into the match, you know, the Ports are closing the space and making it harder for them to play through. Although they've slipped the ball through here, could be dangerous.
Wade Slater with the ball on the right hand side pulls the ball
done.
back to Dillon, but
Matty Robinson just done enough there to get his foot in.
He tracked the run well of Dillon and was able to get enough out onto it that it fell to Harry Doherty. Smith goes long. I think Harry Anderson is offside there. He's from the flick
just
on for Sally.
From the flick. I think that's what we need to start doing there. Just when we've seen Matty Robinson and Tommy, you know, had the space to play the ball, you know, instead of going long, sometimes we've got to show a few more options that we can, you know, open the park up and make it easier to play through, keep the ball a wee bit more.
Long ball here might catch out Portadown, but Harry Doherty does well to come just outside his box and clear for his young defence. McCullough with the ball over the top, but Anderson almost getting on the edge of a underhit back pass from Piers, but Coleman can nip out of his box and hack it clear. Just a slight glimmer of an opening there for Portadown. Ramilson with the throw here, an attack and throw for Portadown. Looking for options. Finds Sally, takes a touch and goes inside. Looking for options. Goes to Sam Ward. Goes back to Sally.
Slipping.
Hits it with his left foot. Gets good contact on the long range shot, but too close to Coleman to cause him any real trouble, and he handles it well.
Yeah, he struck it well. Adam's got a fierce shot on him from any distance there. He struck it well, and as a striker, you're probably always going to shoot from there. I thought the ball was maybe the better ball was Jack Ovens had made a good run down the line, and he could have slipped him through and then maybe pulled it back across the goal, but I suppose you're never going to get that from a striker. The striker's always going to shoot.
You know that well yourself, don't you? Yeah, the defence backed off a wee bit and gave him a bit of space. He just seen the opportunity to have a pop at it.
Yeah, there's space here. There's no doubt now the game settled down a wee bit. Obviously a nervy start from Portadown, but there's spaces in behind Warrenpoint. They're playing very open here, to be honest with you.
If you're just joining us, Warrenpoint Town took an early 2-0 lead here from goals from Dillon and McCaffrey, but Portadown half the deficit through Harry Anderson. And we're sitting here at Portadown 1, Warrenpoint Town 2. Deep cross into the box there from Warrenpoint, but nobody on the end of it, and Doherty can just see that wide.
We spoke probably here since the start of the game about Fran McCaffrey, and we all know his qualities there, but still I'm not seeing, it's easy to sit up in the stand and pick things out, probably more so than pitch side, but I'm still seeing him getting in behind our midfield quite a lot, and he's popped up on the right hand side, he's popped up on the left, so someone needs to take a bit of authority and pick him up when he's making these runs here.
He's going to cause us issues, is what you're saying? Yeah.
He has already done so, Mark, and if he gets that space, or any footballer with his qualities gets the space, he's going to open it up for them, so he is. And with O'Sullivan in front of him, you've got another player who knows where the net is as well.
Some good interplay between the Portadown midfield there.
This is more like it here. Just be calm, keep the ball for a while, drop off in the spaces here. Again, maybe it'll get... I still think there Tommy can still, do a wee bit more like Warrenpoint's doing. He's still had a chance to go Matty, come back round and come back the left fullback as well, but it opted for the long punt up.
Wade Slater gets past Jack Ovens here on the right hand side, but can't get a cross in. Combination of Harry Murphy and Wade Slater's face, but Portadown can somehow get it clear. Only as far as Hutchison, who's making a drive and run into the backs, but Murphy does really well. McLeod can pick up the scraps and clear down the line to Anderson. Piers wins the header. Wade Slater's going to be a hard man to control for Jack Ovens, isn't he? But he's
big test here with Jack, especially not in his normal side. He's, to be fair to the kid, he's come up through, he probably done really well in pre-season for us, and at right back, and since he's come in, for the competitive games because of injuries, he's had to play at left back. So never a peep out of Jack. He'll do everything you asked him, and he's dedicated, so he will. So
ball over the top here from Tipton, trying to find Sally. Sally does well to keep it in. Is it judged not to have? So the ball went out for a goal kick. Pretty entertaining game so far in the first opening stages of the first half.
Yeah, I was probably a wee bit worried there in the first couple of minutes when you see two, and you always think, right, young team, all the rest of it out, and experience, but they've settled down well here, so they have, and they're now making it harder to play through. Yes, we're in point of a lot of the possession, but they're not just playing through as easy as they were the first couple of minutes in the match, so that's a good sign from us.
Pressure from Harry Murphy forces the hook round the corner from Hutchison, and there's no Warrenpoint Town player there to pick it up, so Ovens can.
That's your example there of closing the spaces there, Mark. They've closed it there, and he had only an option to play it down the line, and there was no one there because we closed the space well, so well done then.
Good player from Portadown here on the left hand side. He's tipped him with the ball, cuts inside and goes to Sammy McLeod. Harry Murphy bringing the ball out of the fence and finds a feed of Anderson, turns and goes wide to McCullough. He's just in his offside position there.
Again, another good bit of build-up, good ball from Harry Murphy and the Harry Anderson's feet, and this is what Harry needs to do more of. He's been with us a few matches in the 20s, and we're sort of trying to, get him to understand how tough it is in the Irish League. You've got to hold the ball up. You've got to bring other people into play. So when you're across the water, you're more or less playing at your own age group and academy football. And when you come back here, it's men's football. And listen, he's adopting it. It'll take him maybe a wee bit of time, but again, nights like the night will be invaluable to him.
Long ball here from Warrenpoint Town gets Stephen Ball in the attack on the left hand side, but Robinson does really well to get the ball off and twist and turn and get some sort of clearance, but Stephen Ball can pick it back up again, finds McCaffrey, goes inside to Quinn goes straight back out to Ball, whips in a lovely volleyed cross to the back post, but nobody there for 1 point, and Ovens does well to win a corner kick, goal kick off Wade Slater.
Yeah, looked to be offside there, to be fair, when he crossed the ball in, and he wasn't, but he put a great ball across the box again.
Talking about Harry Anderson there coming back from playing academy football, is it just a case of when you go to Irish League, when it's men's football, you have to do the basics really well, because if you don't, somebody will be right in your back and nipping it off you.
Totally, I'm a big believer in it, and probably my view, and sometimes differs from a lot of people. My call is, if you look down the last number of years in Irish League football, the people who have stood out and been successful across the water and have went straight into till teams across there has been the Sykes, the Dallas is obviously the obvious one, the Gavin Whites and stuff like that. But to me, you get a really, really good school at Irish League football, and it sets you up that you can go in straight away instead of having to go through the ranks and try to break through, which is much harder, as a 15, 16, 17-year-old.
Tipton looking to release Sally with a ball over the top, but ball can head it down to Dillon, who goes back to his keeper. Coleman goes long. Tommy Smith wins the header over O'Sullivan. Sally's touch just is a wee bit lets him down a wee bit there, and the defence gets on top of him. Wade Slater cuts inside Ovens, finds a run at Deasy. Smart run from the right full-back, and a lovely finish into the bottom corner.
Again, the runner has come from a full-back area, and he's made the whole way up inside the pitch there, and I'm not sure. It looks like George, to be fair, hasn't tracked him, and that's just the basics of football there. You have to track your runners. It's Deasy who scored that, wasn't it?
It was Deasy, yeah. Deasy just got ahead.
He's came from right back, and this is what's happened with the first couple of goals. You've got to see that in the pitch, and if it happens once, fair enough, you can make a mistake, but 2 or 3 times their midfield or runners from behind are getting in behind us, which shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, Colin Deasy getting the third goal for Warrenpoint Town, giving them their 2-goal cushion back in this game. So it's Portadown 1, Warrenpoint Town 3. Portadown getting us back underway here. Warrenpoint have a player off the pitch there at the minute, receiving some treatment, so they're down to 10 men temporarily. Ward finds McLeod, who's long ball over the top, finds Sally in behind, but can't quite get a touch on it, and it drags him wide a wee bit. McCullough whips the ball into the back post, but the referee seems to have given a foul for 1 point. There's no real complaints from anybody.
There was no real complaint, and I don't think any of the Portadown ones even jumped for it, so.
Referee spotted something there and not been happy with it, so he's given a foul to Warrenpoint. It was a good ball in there from Johnny McCullough into the back post. It's just nobody quite got their head onto it.
Yeah, just need to get their heads up again. There's been spells already where we can see they can play. They just need to, again, track runners and stick them in a wee bit tighter. The goals have been mistakes by us. It hasn't been really patterns of play that have really, hurt us.
Dillon goes round the corner to O'Sullivan. There's Smith in his back there, forcing him backwards, but goes McCaffrey, who tries to pick out a long diagonal ball to Stephen Ball, but just overhead, and it goes for a Portadown goal kick. Ovens. Ward with a wee bit of room in his own half here, looking to pick a pass out. Finds Sally. Sally goes round the corner, slips the ball into Tipton. It looks like it's a penalty for Portadown.
It was inside. Great ball from Sally. So it
fantastic ball around the corner from Sally. Great run from George Tipton as well to match it. And he looked like he was going to get a strike away before Warrenpoint defender clipped his heels. I think the replay maybe missed it, but it definitely was contact in the box there, as Tipton looked to be in behind, getting a shot away, and he was tripped up from behind, and it's a Portadown penalty.
It certainly was a foul. I just couldn't tell you without seeing the replay. Was it inside the box? But it definitely was a foul. And again, great ball from Sally. He's dropped into a wee bit of space there, and George has made the run in behind, which I said earlier. They're playing open Warrenpoint as well, so they are. So there is chances and goals out there for us.
Adam Sally with the chance here to get Portadown back into within 1 goal. Adam Sally tucks it into the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Composed finish from the Portadown striker.
We could be in for a few goals here tonight, Mark. It's very open, so it is.
Already a goal thriller. So if you're tuning in here on YouTube, you're already in for a treat of a match.
You're certainly getting your value anyway.
Not bad value when you pay nothing
Yeah,
for it.
exactly.
It's Portadown 2, Warrenpoint Town 3 here in the quarter-final of the Mid Ulster Cup.
That's something I'd like to see George doing more of. You know, he's a talented kid, so he is. And sometimes, you know, obviously being manager's son, you have supporters saying, you know, they'll always ask the question, stuff like that. But he's 18. There's not too many 18-year-olds have played the amount of games he has at this level, and that will only set him in good stead for future and years to come. But I do believe that wee bit of, you know, intensity from him to get into behind at times, that, you know, he can make more of those runs.
Yeah. He did come when he was younger as a forward player. He was only when he made the step up to senior team, he took a drop back.
And listen, he likes to get on. He's a ball player. You can see straight away he's got quality in his locker. But sometimes I like to see a midfielder break beyond the forwards at times. McLeod
loses out there as Warrenpoint Town surround him. Waits later, makes a move forward.
He's limping here a wee bit, George. He's obviously got hurt in that there one that he was took down for the penalty. So we just have to see how that is.
DZ goes inside, but the ball is cut out by Adam Sally, who drives forward. But I think it was Quinn there nipped in to get something on it. We're talking about young George Tipton there, and one thing I always noticed, he's talking about being a manager's son and it being tough, that relationship and the questions and stuff. But I remember playing the championship, and George was maybe having some great games. He had a really great run of form for a wee while, and he was setting up goals left, right and centre, and Matthew Tipton would refuse to mention his name in interviews, because it's tough, because if he does, he gets criticised for mentioning him, and it's a really hard balance for anybody to strike. But I think he is sort of trying to strike it the right way, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just the way this attack goes.
Waits later, goes in behind Ovens here on the right hand side, low cross into the box.
Done, Matty Robinson.
Robinson shields it.
Well done.
From reaching, I'm not too sure who it was in the back post there, but Matty Robinson comes out with it. Yeah,
no, just to touch on your point to George there, listen, it's not easy for any probably kid to play under their father as a manager, but for one so young, and you know, he's came back up with Portadown when they were in the championship, and you know, he's a wise head on, let's say, young shoulders, but he's a great kid, and he does not come across in one way. If you're in behind the change rooms, he's never come across as, you know, him the manager's son. He gets on with, he takes her up for smooth. If he's playing the reserve team, which he was the other night, and we were in charge, you know, he will take the criticism on board, and there's nothing big about him other than he wants to learn. So yeah, I'd take my hats off them big style, and I know a lot of supporters, you know, will always question that, but I don't think they'll know until they're in that position how tough a position it is.
Speaking of devil, he's in the wars here.
Yeah, he's still carrying that. I think he's got hit there going through for that penalty. He's got hooked by the left ankle there, and he's been limping ever since it, Mark. So
hopefully he's all right. George Tipton, he's struggling to get up to his feet there, so he's only going to get some treatment. Just in the short break of play, I would ask any of the viewers to take this time to subscribe to our WeArePorts YouTube page. It brings you all the up-to-date news and match highlights and interviews and behind-the-scenes footage from Shamrock Park. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and you'll be first to see the content as soon as it comes out. We obviously work very hard here to supply as much content as we can. We're hoping over the next wee while to increase our coverage behind the scenes as well. We had a behind the scenes footage of the under-20s match a few weeks ago as well, which was good to see, and we're planning a few more of them in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think the kids enjoyed that there. So they were saying, you know, seeing themselves on Twitter and stuff like that. But listen, I've said you before, not because I'm sitting beside you, I've praised you a lot. The work you do behind the scenes here has been absolutely unbelievable, and I certainly know during COVID, when there was regulations and only so many, you know, could come up, and at times tip you saying, you know, just want to come up and stuff like that, we were more than happy to sit and listen to it, because it was very, very good viewing, and it was really, really well done. So fair play to you. You've done a great job, Mark.
It's even better viewing when we pick up 3 points. It's an awful lot easier to commentate on as well.
It's a lot better to listen to now, so it is.
We have a few changes in the stream tonight. We'll still have Matt Gregg on the camera, with Ross Marson making his debut on the stream producing, with Matt Wright being unavailable this evening. So big up to those guys putting in the work and the effort to bring you the service. Andy Coleman with the clearance from the goal kick. but it goes out for a Portadown throw.
Let's take a wee lull. That's probably to be expected with 5 goals within many minutes have gone. We're probably, half an hour gone there. Game's just died down a wee bit. Let everyone get their breath and get going again.
I have to say, Robinson started out really well here right back. It's the first time I've really seen the young fella play, so it's going to be interesting to watch him.
Couldn't speak highly enough of him, to be honest with you. I know I spoke to Tippy and he had, was contemplating putting him in, and again, just with back fours, the way it worked out, then he's obviously got his chance, but takes everything in his stride. This is a kid who missed out on under 16s football last year, came up really, and we were thinking, 18s football, but I would have to say he's been one of the standouts and has been 20s, 18s, played wherever you want to play him. I still think is probably his best position as he'll grow up will probably be in the back four. He's a great reader of the game. But again, put in the right back tonight, and yes, I'm sure he'll have a few nerves not there, but I had a word with him before and just said, be your usual self, and he just goes about his game quietly, unassumingly, and I think he's got a great future ahead.
Absolutely. Had to mention as well, the centre half pairing this evening are 2 players I've seen play quite a bit.
Yeah.
And especially together, they seem to have a really good partnership. Tommy Smith and Harry Murphy, they seem to dovetail really well together.
Yeah, they've played even before I came. I can remember them playing together and stuff like that there. And there's a lot's expected of these kids. You've got to realise it too. And sometimes I have to take myself back out, and it can be hard on them. But Murph's only coming 18 this week, and Tommy's still 17. And Wade Slater's got in behind here again. Jack just caught a wee bit ball watching.
Wade Slater cuts the ball back across the defence here,
no,
but Portadown get a block on it on the effort from McCaffrey and are able to hook it clear. I think it was Robinson got the block on it.
Wade Slater, as you said, is going to be a tough night for Jack. You can be, as a winger, he will just sort of try and nip into a wee bit of space, drop his shoulder and go in behind, which he's done a few times, and his deliveries have been quality as well.
Obviously Wade Slater's played at all-round League of Ireland, Bohemians, and even it was at Lauren last year as well, so he's an experienced campaigner. He knows the game here, and he's going to get off as a test.
Very much
but
so.
It's good for him.
It's a great test. These are the things where they'll really learn. You can play 20s football every night of the week and come away with, beating sometimes an 18s team, beating sometimes 6 first teamers and thing. It can be very false at times, if I'm being honest with you. If it was going back to years ago, I always believed it was more realistic because you had sometimes 25, 26-year-olds on the first team squad, and they'll always come in and play, and they'll help the young guys around. Now you're only allowed to play a certain amount of overage players, so it can be very young at times. And again, we bit that we were talking about, about academy football across the water. It's no real different that they went here, but it's hard then for the to make that step up. The jump's up much bigger. Whereas in previous years, you'd have been reserve team, whatever team you'd have been associated with, you'd been associated with first team players, not dressing rooms, so you would have. Now it's all changed. There's probably an argument for and an argument against it. I just believe, if I go back to what I was saying, you'll learn your trade better by playing against men quicker.
Yeah. Long ball here to Wade Slater from Coleman, but he doesn't quite get his under control and comes off his head for a goal kick, but a wee bit of room there for the
Jack's
winger.
Just been caught inside quite a lot. He's probably just, he has got a couple of times he's got a run at him there. He's just got to get his head back on and settle down again. Great ball.
Really good ball from Tipton around the corner to Sally, but it looked like maybe offside. One point in time, we were able to cut it out though and try to attack, so advantage was played. McLeod on the ball. Finds Ward. Looking for options ahead, but goes to Ovens at left back. No, sorry, Tipton.
Yeah. You don't usually associate, that's where you probably got confused. Mark Tipton out on the left hand side.
I have to say, just looking at Jack Ovens, I've seen him for a wee while. He is he's well built. Like he looks like he's ready for man's football physically.
Works tremendously hard, so he does. A kid, you probably have to pull him back a peg or two, and I would speak to his dad quite regularly about it. He actually he would be getting trained by Cluckers who used to play here.
Ryan McCluskey, yeah.
Ryan McCluskey, and he's doing a lot of personal training with him, so he's been...
Is he a Fermanagh lad, is he?
He's a Fermanagh lad, he travels up and down. Never a bad word to say, never misses training, never any excuses, so he's a great kid. If it's attitude to go by, he's a good chance because his attitude's first class.
absolutely one to look out for here for a good future at Shamrock Park. So Robinson here looked to be outnumbered there for 1 point, and the ball was robbed off him. Ball going into the box here. Sullivan whips the ball in, but Murphy's there to hack it clear, and it goes back for a corner for 1 point.
It's just those couple of wee things we need to tighten up on. They're getting the wide men in behind. They're getting the drop off in the midfield, and they're creating space that way. We just need to get tighter in the midfield and be aware in the wide areas in behind that we're concentrating, we're picking up.
1 point with their first corner here, as far as I can remember, of the match. So they'll be looking to get numbers into the box here. Ball comes in right into the centre of the goal, but
good ball in. It was Tommy Smith, so it was.
Got
something to it, yeah.
And Doherty can tidy it up for him. Doherty tries to go quickly to Sally, but McCaffrey's there and nips it out and gets the ball back on the left-hand side. But can't get onto the end of it, and it goes out for a goal kick. Relief there for Portadown after trying to spring a quick attack and only give it back to the away side.
Again, McCaffrey, will probably talk about him all night if he's getting this space, but he's popping up on the left-hand side. He had popped wide on the right there a minute ago. He's all over the place, and he's been given that role with the two sitting protecting him there to let him have the freedom to get in the pockets of space in behind. Very hard to pick up as well, so it is, but I think at that stage you've just got to sort of say that, man, go and pick him up, cancel him out, because he is causing a threat here all night.
Ball over the top of McLeod, tries to find McCullough, but 1 point deal with it and complete the clearance through Coleman, only as far as McLeod. Ball tried to seal this out to go for a throw-in. Substitution here, I think, for the away side. Number 28 is Quinn. He's going to
think that was
be replaced. I think he was one
that was Dylan Quinn was over there a few minutes ago. There must be something up there. And he looks to be running all right, but I don't know what's. There's something up anyway. He was over at the touchline.
And he's replaced by Luke Gallagher. Yeah, one of the 1 point goals. He was over getting some treatment, so obviously something's not too happy with, and he's been forced to come off the pitch. When taken there by 1 point, and they can spring an attack here. Waits later. Has the option of Daisy outside and goes there. Alvin's trying to get back in front in goal side and does. But Daisy gets the ball into the box and it's cleared by Smith.
Get out them earlier. Again.
Another block by Smith there. Ball falls to O'Sullivan and Smith gets out to it again and deflects it this time for a 1 point corner.
A couple of good blocks there by Tommy. I think we just all need to get out when that ball breaks. We need to get out to the man quicker. Close it down.
Is that a wee bit of hesitation sometimes?
Yeah, it's just a wee bit of...
Yep, go for it. Corner here for 1 point. Option to go short, but they decline it. Dillon with the ball into the box here. Sally wins the header, but there was a foul in the build-up, so the referee has pointed for a free kick to Portadown.
I think to be fair to Jack there, Mark, a couple of times Jack Ovens, he's one running at him and then one running down the line, so he's in two minds to go to the one with the ball or the one down the line. Needs a wee bit of help.
Gavin Pears reaching over Hoy Anderson, winning the header. Dillon battling well there and getting the ball back to Stephen Ball. Runner from midfield here, threatening to get at the Portadown defence, and he's able to get it wide to Wade Slater. One-on-one with Jack Ovens and comes inside. Gallagher finds McCaffrey, lovely back flick, but nobody there reading it, and Murphy can clear. Need Hoy Anderson to really get that under control there and relieve its defence. But
that's really what we're speaking about earlier there. That's just the rigours of, playing against strong boys. You've got to get your body on a chance again.
Goal here for Warrenpoint. Looks like it's maybe an own goal there by Portadown as I think Stephen Ball got in down the left-hand side for Warrenpoint.
Might have come off Tommy in the end, but the ball in. It was a great ball in. Hard to defend. Over. Let's see it here.
Murphy.
It's actually Murphy, so it is.
Yeah, low cross by Stephen Ball after getting some room on the left-hand side of the Portadown box and drills a low one in, and Sullivan was the closest to it.
Both fullbacks and both wide men are getting a lot of freedom down the sides of the pitch. So they are, it is hard for the fullback to make the decision. That's where someone has got to move over and help the fullback. But too many times they're getting in behind and putting a very dangerous ball into the box, which is always going to be hard to defend.
So it's Portadown 2, Warrenpoint Town 4 here in the first half of the quarter-final of the Mid Ulster Cup. 6 goals already in this game here, and it's only the first half, so plenty of goals and plenty of entertainment so far for the viewers. Although Portadown will be looking to get a few goals back into this game and decrease that 2-goal cushion again. Harry Anderson winning a foul off the defence there. Better from Harry Anderson looking to get that ball in and relieve his team and get them up the pitch, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you're asking for him. So it is, it's just the ball up. Let's hold it up until we bring players into play. And he's done well there, so he has to get a free kick.
Sam Ward is the man standing over this free kick opportunity. It's probably just within range for an effort on goal. Important for all the rest of the Portadown players to try to get on top of this in case anything deflects and comes off the keeper. Sam Ward gets a bit of whip on it, but it's a few yards wide of the post and doesn't trouble Andy Coleman.
Yeah, it's probably just a couple of yards further out than Sam would have really wanted there, but he is very, very good in set pieces, so he is. I think at this stage you're coming up to half time here. Think of him, you have a back four, and this is one of the things we've been trying to work on, tirelessly. We've been able to score goals with the 20s, but they've found it hard to close the match up. So they have at times when they need to. You're now getting, a couple of goals down, 4-2 at this stage. Try and regroup at half time, but you need to get in there, and you need to keep the back four compact. Jack's still playing very high up the pitch, which again you've seen there. Wade Slater's getting in. For me, it was actually George Tippin. But for me, Murphy and Tommy's got to talk their fullbacks and keep them close.
Throw in from Warrenpoint. Goes into
runners
Slater.
off too easy.
Wade Slater with a left-footed drive. Looked to be curling into the top corner of the Portadown goal, but Harry Doherty tips it over the bar.
Good save, but again, 2 minutes to go, you're giving people a space to turn at you and have a shot. That shouldn't be happening.
Dylan here with the corner kick delivery for the visitors. Whips the ball in the near post, but it's well cut out by, I think, George Tipton. It was, sorry. McCaffrey goes back to ball, and ball goes the whole way back to his keeper, which lets the Portadown defence get up the pitch with a bit of room. And the referee blows for half time here. You're Matthew Tipton. What do you tell the boys here at half time?
Well, I think what I would tell them is exactly what I was saying to you the last couple of minutes. You get yourself back in the game and then you've got to sort of manage it for a while. You just don't necessarily have to go and try to get, the equaliser or what they were trying to play and get up high up the pitch. Jack was getting very, very high. When you've got a winger as good as Wade Slater and as experienced to get a kid who is inexperienced, to me, that's where you've got to sit in and just be compact. Again, coming out from the second half, I would be starting off being compact, trying to match up the midfield a wee bit better. I think McCaffrey, as we spoke about, has had too much of the play and is running in behind, and really counteract the wide areas where they're getting overlapping fullbacks in the areas as well. So really getting closer to the main mark. Sometimes football for me is as simple as that there, and I just think we'll be giving them too much space. There's no doubt there's a lot of space in behind where we've seen when we've got opportunities, but you have to prevent the goal before you score goals to win matches, and I think we've got to stop preventing goals going in here if we've any chance to progress here.
Absolutely. Well, listen, it's half time here at Shamrock Park as Portadown 2, Warrenpoint Town 4 in the quarter-final of the Mid Ulster Cup. Stay with us, we'll be back after this short break.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Here at 4-Star, we love pizza, and we want to give you more of it. Introducing 4-Star Pizza Rewards. Yes, finally a loyalty program you can roll with. Every time you order your favourites on 4starpizza.co.uk, you get points. Use the points to get rewards. Available by ordering online now. Love pizza? Don't already have an online account? Sign up to our rewards program today. 4 Star, we love pizza, and we want to give you more of it. Introducing 4 Star Pizza Rewards. Yes, finally a loyalty program you can roll with. Every time you order your favourites on 4starpizza.co.uk, you get points. Use the points to get rewards. Available by ordering online now. Love pizza? Don't already have an online account? Sign up to our rewards program today.
Hello and welcome back to Shamrock Park here, as both teams are getting ready to start the second half. It's currently Portadown 2, Warrenpoint Town 4 in the quarter-final of the Mid Ulster Cup. I'm Mark Beattie on commentary, and I'm joined here by the second half with Stephen Hines, Portadown's under-20s manager. Stephen, half-time team talk there. Are you big into your Rollicans at half-time, or is it a calm talk, let's talk through football and get things sorted?
I think it all depends, Mark. I think sometimes you've got to know your players. So to me, sometimes you've got to let go sometimes, and other times it can just be an arm round and a wee bit of constructive criticism. I don't think tonight will be any different than that there. You know, it's a learning experience for a lot of these guys, and he'll want to help them along the way with his experience.
Yeah, obviously there was a lot of positives coming from that first half, as well as a few negatives. You know, that's a very young side, especially the back line of Portadown.
Yeah.
And to get this experience of playing a first team match here at Shamrock Park is always going to be a big thing.
Yeah, very much so, and not only that, I think we touched on at the start, if we're looking down at like the previous teams there, just in the lead up to the match there, and the way I would describe it is Warrenpoint has came with their full first team squad. The only thing that they've done is obviously rejigged it between players that were on their bench on Saturday. You're sitting with a lot of players in Portadown's first team squad not playing here tonight, you know, so that's the difference.
O'Sullivan here with a chance in the box and gets a strike away, but Harry Doherty is equal to it and is able to palm it to safety. DZ picks it up off Wade Slater, goes inside to Hutchison, who clips it forward, trying to find Wade Slater again, but Ovens is able to track that and shield it out for a goal kick. Yeah, it's two different attitudes really to this tournament. You know, Matthew Tipton has taken the decision from early on that this is a competition where he wants to see young players get a chance and experience this step up to this level of football that they're going to have to try to make. Whereas Warrenpoint see this as a chance to get a few squad players games, but a competition to progress in, really.
Yeah, I think it's probably one that the they want to get their heads lifted from Warrenpoint. And when I was managing Hanover, we went to the team in a similar position. And they needed a sort of win, and we thought that night, they would go strong. They did go strong. We actually done reasonably well against them. It ended up, I scored 1-0 and then got beat 3-1. But sometimes that's what those kids probably want to go home and say they're playing against the Warrenpoint first team. They don't want to go home and say, well, we played against half the 20s that we played against a couple of weeks ago. So you're gaining nothing by that there. I think you're gaining a lot here tonight by playing against an experienced team, and you can see clearly what the wee bit of experienced players has done in the match, what they've created, and it's just a wee bit of running off the back of their man. Good ball in the box again, running off the back of their man and not being tracked.
Hutchinson with a wee bit of room in the edge of the box, trying to go wide, but it's cut out by McCullough, and a combination of McCullough and Robinson clear for Portadown. Hutchinson picks it up in the middle and goes back to Deasy. Tries to spread it long and wide to Wade Slater, and Wade Slater can control it in his chest and look for options. Clips the ball around the corner to Sullivan, who lays it off back to Wade Slater. Deasy. Deep cross in the box, and Robinson can flick ahead or clear. I have to say, I don't like double barrel surnames because I always go to call him Slater. I forget about the first
I never liked him at school either, so I didn't. It was usually a nickname they got anyway.
And also Stephen Ball's surname annoys me because I always say Ball, play the ball, and that always confuses me as well. So I'm getting it off my chest here.
I'm leaving the names to you.
Coleman with the ball at his feet. Goes left to Dillon, who chests it down to McCaffrey, but McCullough's there to cut it out and
just relax, keep the ball.
Exchange passes with Murphy.
Well done, Johnny.
Turns inside away from the pressure from Sullivan, gives to Smith. Smith finds Sally. Robinson does well to keep it in off McCullough. Goes back to his keeper Doherty. He goes long but out of play.
I don't know, the wind's picked up here, Mark. I don't know what way it's swirling down the pitch like, but it seems to be, is it against Portadown here this half?
Looking at the flag, it's sort of nearly in our face but heading towards Brownstown sort of direction.
Yeah.
So
coming across the pitch then.
Yeah. Wade Slater looking at a combination with Deasy, but the return ball looks to be overhit and Murphy can see that ball
That's
out.
the one, if you watch that there, if I can explain that one very quickly, the wide man's went out, Jack's went out, that, sort of the delay him, but he's right out so high up the pitch that the space is in behind, so he's just laying at the fullback and then he's running off the back of Jack. It's very hard to very hard to defend, but at that stage the centre half has got to move across and close the space. Which
Murphy done there, and he was able to get across to the ball through the Wade Slater. Hutchison finds Deasy, who gives it to McCaffrey. Warrenpoint looking to spread the ball about and move Portadown's shape around to see if it can find any chinks in the armour. Gallagher goes to Dillon. Stephen Ball on the left hand side here, squared up with Matthew Robinson. Goes outside him, but Robinson keeps pace with him. Forces his cross to be a bit too overhit. And
done enough, he stayed close to him, so he did. I think we've got it tightened up now from what I can see in the middle of the park, so we're not getting played through centrally. Now we'll have to work a wee bit harder in the wider areas because that's where they're aiming to play all the time now, which the central's closed off, so they're obviously going to go wide, but we need to work the wide areas better.
Portadown throw here. Tipton takes it early, goes to Sally, whose ball finds Ward in the midfield. Tries to find Tipton, but it's deflected as it goes through to him, and he gets fouled in the back there by Deasy. I think young Tipton will be wondering why he's always the man getting targeted. He's
got a few whacks there tonight, so he has, to be fair.
Ward with the chance to try to put the ball into the box here for Portadown from a deep position. Ball comes in. Only Warrenpoint players underneath it there.
Needs a wee bit of support, Back
McCullough does well to win a throw in off Pierce. There's always a McCullough in a Portadown team, isn't there?
Yeah, well, don't know. Would you remember Gary playing? Would you?
I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, I do. And he was. It's quite scary when you do see, his next generation coming up, and he is very, very like his dad. Had that lazy sort of run.
Is that Gary's son?
Very effective. Yeah,
is that Gary's young fella?
That's Gary's son. Yeah.
Myself,
Gary was one of those wiggers that didn't need speed. He just needed to jink the shoulder, and he always whipped a good ball in. But a really good football brain.
Ball with a really good delivery into the back post is met by the on-rushing Wade Slater, but his header gets a good contact on it, but it goes over the bar. Thankfully for Portadown.
We let off there, to be honest with you. He got in ahead there of Jack there, so he did. And if you're the Warrenpoint manager, you'd be certainly asking to hit the target.
Ball goes long to Anderson, but Piers can clear.
So we need to just maybe come out a wee bit quicker and bring the squeeze again when it's in there third.
Switch of play here over to Dylan. Robinson comes out to meet him. Dylan goes inside and whips the ball into O'Sullivan. Ball finds its way through to McCaffrey, and Harry Doherty got something on it.
I've seen fouls given there many times.
Funny, I thought that myself just when.
Usually touch a keeper nowadays and it's a foul, like, so. Before we should have a foul there.
Quick taking corner kick here from Warrenpoint. Get the ball in from Dylan, but Tipton clears. And it's out for a Warrenpoint throw.
It's all a wee bit one pace from ourselves there, Mark. If you just need a wee bit of more intensity to get quicker to the man on the ball, and certainly a wee bit of back up front for the man attacking the ball.
Gallagher 1-2 off McCaffrey, but can't find another 1 point player, and Portadown gets something on it, but goes to McCaffrey again. Tries to clip a ball across to Wade Slater.
Give it.
Ovens driving out of defence with it, is well challenged by Hutchinson.
You're probably looking now in times like this here to get the front two a wee bit closer. Sort of working both. One's working the left hand side of the pitch, one's working the right hand side. If you can get them a wee bit closer, maybe hold the ball up and bring the midfield into play here.
Robinson finds Sally, goes wide to McCullough. Combination with Robinson. Robinson skips past Dylan and draws a foul from him. Good play here from young Robinson. We're going to go quick to Smith, who tries to put in behind Anderson.
It's in behind.
Almost gets behind Stephen Dunn there, but he does well to twist and turn and get his ball back to Coleman. Dylan tries to find the long ball to Wade Slater, but angles weren't quite there, and ball runs to Doherty. McLeod goes to Smith. I heard young Tommy Smith being called the new king of Killigamean by his manager Matthew Tipton at one point last year. I think it was a wee jibe at the previous king with Lee Bonus.
Yeah, no, good kid. Loves it. A lot of time for Tommy there. I think did he make his debut down at Ballymena, was it?
He did, yep.
He made his debut down at Ballymena, and then I seen him not social media, so his dad showed me a picture. He went up to one of his mates' houses at night. I think COVID, you were just allowed back out, and they were standing, giving them the royal entrant in 2 rows, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant, to see how much it means to a kid to make their debut, especially for their hometown club.
Yeah, his family are of close ties to the club. His dad Chris Smith's a long time follower as well, and no doubt he'll be watching this back come tomorrow morning.
Proud moments these here for any parent, and especially for local kids. There'll be a lot of kids go through the ranks of Portadown will never get to sample this here tonight, so although at the minute they're getting beat 4-2, it has to be a proud moment for a lot of these kids.
What does Matthew Tipton look for in a game like this from young players? It's hard to expect a result against a senior team, but he wants to see individuals. Does he want to see them step up with quality? Is it leadership? Is it personality? Is it all a combination of everything?
You've probably hit 3 of them on the head there. You're certainly looking for them to step up and a lot of communication from them and show their personality and not, shy away, want to get on the ball, want to make things happen. That's the things that, any manager will look for, but especially from kids coming up, you know, it is a big break to go from a 20s in the first team, and the dressing room can be quite daunting for any kid, you know. Having been there myself, you know, it's easy for me to say now, but you know, looking back, you know, yes, back then you probably had to be a wee bit more streetways. The kids aren't as streetways nowadays, for the way society is, but it's probably making sure that they come in and they don't hide away, don't shy away from it, and want to get on the ball and make it happen the way they do at their own level.
And one thing actually this year I've noticed Matthew Tipton, he wants this to feel as real as a first team as it can be. You know, there's times going by where you'd play sometimes Mid Ulster Cup games here, and you know, there wouldn't be pre-match music, there wouldn't be any of the usual rituals that would happen in a first team game, but he wants to make sure that happens now. He wants the you know, the pizzas after the game, he wants everything the same as a first team game. So when these young guys have to step up, and they will have to at some point, they're ready for it. They've already done it. They know the routine. Very
much so, and it's, you know, even their timings, you know, you're up at 6:15, you're there, you know, in the same time as a first team match will be, and they have to get used to, you know, when he does his team talks, team talks will be done at a different time. There'll be different formats in it, and then when he does the team talks, then that's when it gives you the time to get into your match mode and obviously, you know, interact with the rest of the players, and that's probably one of the biggest things that he will keep, because then it shows who is able to step out of their comfort zone within a change room, and you have to grow up very fast whenever you're playing games like this here and moving in from, you know, any reserve team to the first team.
Short break for an injury there to a Warrenpoint Town player. I think he's back up and running again, so he must be okay to continue. Robinson getting caught under the ball there, a wee touch, and it runs through to Dillon, but he catches back up and is able to hack it clearance.
Yeah, the pace of the game has certainly dropped compared to the first half. It was frantic and goals left, right and centre. It's hard to keep that up, you know, for 90 minutes. So game has took a wee lull here, but it should help them to get into a wee bit more rhythm. And hopefully if we can sneak a goal, and let's see what way Warrenpoint react to that. But it's crucial we get the next goal.
Deep cross in here for Warrenpoint Town. Dillon on the end of it, and Robinson can get a foot in on it. Ball finds Hutchinson. Daisy feigns to go out to Waits later and cuts inside again. Goes to O'Sullivan. Good challenge from Sammy McLeod. Wins the ball back for Portadown. And Murphy can bring it out. Finds McCullough. Tough
enough tackle there. I think is that O'Sullivan down, is it?
There's a player down here
probably
for the visitors.
Go out of play here for a minute. It was one of those block tackles, so he could have jarred the knee or anything. But
I think it's Alan O'Sullivan there down at the minute for the visitors, so he'll be looking some treatment.
Good player, hasn't really been getting in as much this year for Warrenpoint. Always fancied him as a player. Always thought he would have got a move. No disrespect to Warrenpoint, but always thought he would have got a move to the bigger club. But
he seems to know where the goal is, and if he gets a chance, he pounces on it, you know. Doherty with the ball here for Portadown. Smith clips the ball forward down the line to McCullough, but ball can cut that one out. Sally gets the ball in control. He back flick through the legs of Hutchison, but doesn't quite find McCullough, and Dunn hacks it clear for Portadown through.
I think we just got to have a wee bit more confidence now. We've grown in this second half as to press them a wee bit higher, because they don't seem to be comfortable at the back, and the ball played through them.
Robinson going back to goal, goes across to Murphy. Bit of composure and is able to find Jack Ovens on the left hand side here. 1-on-1 with Daisy, but Daisy does really well to block and come away with the ball here and attack into the Portadown half. Goes inside to McCafferty, but Murphy cuts it out. Good play by the Portadown centre half.
We've got to come out with it.
McLeod finds Tipton, goes wide to McCullough. Has the option of Sally down the channel, and he goes there. Sally was back to goal, looking to find a partner. Does McLeod. McLeod no real options to twist and turn under pressure from Gallagher, and has to go back to Doherty. Composed play from the Portadown keeper, finds Ward. McLeod with a bit of room goes forward to Sally, who twists and turns and gets his facing goal, but Dylan does well to nip in and get the ball off him. And
Just got a wee toed it there, put Sally up a stride.
Wade Slater comes inside of Ovens, finds O'Sullivan. Combination of a couple of Portadown players win the ball back, and Ovens brings it out and draws a foul from O'Sullivan.
Runners.
Ball down the left hand side to Stephen Ball here. Wee bit of room as he delivers a low cross into the on-rushing Wade Slater, but Murphy does well to time his run and unable to get a foot in to put it behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, again, just the danger is the overlapping in the wide areas. They're getting a lot of space down there, and we just need to work that one out. We still aren't really onto that one yet.
Set piece here for the visitors. Plenty of numbers in the box here. Ball comes into the back post. McLeod is there to head clear, and Ward can't get anything else on it, but wins a tackle and comes out with the ball.
Give him a run. Stay onside, Johnny. You're offside.
Ball goes through to the run of Anderson. Really smart run and ball, but Colin Deasy is there to snuff it out and completes the clearance. Only as far as Sally. Finds McCullough. Whips the ball into the back post, but it doesn't pass McCaffrey, and he can bring the ball out for Warrenpoint. It's currently Portadown 2, Warrenpoint Town 4 here in the quarterfinal of the Mid Ulster Cup. In the 64th minute of this match here, it was a frantic first half with 6 goals in it. But so far in this second half here, we have had none. So it's all come in the first half.
Tends to be the way. You see this on TV too. Big scores in the first half, and it just doesn't live up to the same level of franticness. Certainly,
it's hard to keep up that sort of pace, isn't it?
It is. It's hard to keep it up.
Through ball there from Warrenpoint Town, but nobody on the end of it, and it goes through to Doherty. Smith looks at channel ball, but there's no Portadown player making that run, and it almost caught the wind there.
Yeah, I think the wind caught that well there.
Hall combines with Dillon, but Dillon's forced backwards and spreads it wide to Gavin Peters. McCaffrey through to Dillon, goes left to Stephen Ball, who's getting forward again here from the fullback position. Really smart ball through the run of Alan O'Sullivan, who tries to get an effort on goal, but Murphy can snuff it out.
It's a couple there he's read well, and it's pleasing certainly for me to see him. He's been involved with us all year, Murph, and these are the wee bits that you were trying to get him tightened up in the game, be closer to the front man, and he's learning well tonight against an experienced front man.
Corner here for Warrenpoint. Ball comes in right in the centre of goal, and took a touch off Warrenpoint player, and Robinson in the back post able to get the ball away for the home side. Sally taking the ball out of defence here for Portadown, tries to find Anderson, but DZ cuts that one out and spreads it wide immediately to Dillon, who has numbers on this high side, and finds Wade Slater with a bit of room on the left hand side this time. Cuts inside, faced up by Robinson, finds O'Sullivan in the box, but Smith's there getting tight to him and doesn't let him give any room, and the ball goes forward to Sally, who clips the ball over the top to Anderson. DZ got into a good position there and was able to tidy it up.
Wade Slater, he's moved over to this side now, so Matty Robinson, another learning curve for a young kid.
Wade Slater looking inside, looking for a partner. Finds Dillon. Gallagher spreads it wide to Deasy, who looks an early ball into the box, but nobody else was on the same wavelength as him, and there was nobody in the middle for Warrenpoint, and it's a throw in for Portadown.
Coming up to 20 minutes to go, Mark. I think we've contained them okay here, but I think now, it's a cup match. There's only one team goes through. And at this stage, we've got to be a wee bit more aggressive in their final third play. Got to have the midfielders stepping up to join the front two. And the front two have certainly got to work harder to keep the ball because it's not sticking at all.
Portadown win a free kick there. Foul from Francis McCaffrey, the Warrenpoint Town captain, whose side are about to make a couple of substitutions here. Stephen Ball is going to make way here for the visitors. I guess a double change here along with Stuart Hutchison, sorry. And Stevie Wright isn't too happy because we have no boards for the substitutes, so he's running around asking everybody who was that guy. First,
he seen me walking up the steps and he thought I was up to help him, so he did.
So we have Ryan Masterson coming on for Warrenpoint and Lucas Pete. McCaffrey in the ball for Warrenpoint. Looks an early ball down the channel for the new player just onto the field, but he's drew a foul there from
handball. Again, one of the frustrating ones when you see an official. He's seen it straight away. It was a handball, to be fair, but he let the play go on, and then I think 3 Warrenpoint players call a handball, so he decides to give it. I can never get that there. You know, they either make the decisions and stand bad or don't make the decisions.
There's a free kick here for Warrenpoint. Ryan Masterson coming into the game early and getting it down the channel and causing a foul from, I think it was Harry Murphy was the one closest to him.
Right.
So an opportunity here for Warrenpoint to get the ball into the box and in the danger area. Dillon goes short to O'Sullivan, who could get a strike away. And
good save.
Harry Doherty is well down to it and looks to go early to Anderson, but the bounce just catches him out and goes over his head, so Daisy can tidy up. I think there's a few substitutes here for the home side next. Yeah, there's 3 Portadown players getting ready to enter the fray here.
And again, you're going to have 3 very young kids coming on here.
Yeah, you're going to have to help me with a few of these ones now.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue a play here first before they make the changes. Throw goes the whole way back to Gavin Pearce, who in turn goes the whole way back to Andy Coleman. Adam Sally winning the ball in the middle of the field and showing a wee pirouette there to keep possession, but his pass to Tipton is just off the mark and it goes out for a Warrenpoint through. Yeah, they're going to make the 3 subs here now for Portadown. So off comes Sammy McLeod and Johnny McCullough.
3 subs will be, I think it's Joe Williamson coming on there and Matty Crichton, I can see, and Igor will be the.
He's done well to avoid his surname there.
I was looking for help there, but to tell you the truth.
I'll give it a go. It's Igor Rudkowski.
Yeah.
And the 3rd player coming off for Portadown is going to be Adam Sally as well. So 2 of Portadown's more senior players this evening coming off the field. Igor Rudkowski, he's more of a forward player.
Yeah, he's an out-and-out striker. Again, another kid who's came on well, this past year and a half. Small in stature, but very, very strong upper body. So he has, and he just knows where the goal is. Has got some very good traits about him in and around the goal. Joe Williamson, obviously a son of Trevor Williamson there, will come on the right hand side and give a wee bit of pace. And
Matty Crichton's the third
Matty
one.
Crichton is the third one.
Yeah, I think he'll go on the left hand side, and George Tipton will move inside maybe for just by the way he's lined up at the minute anyway.
Yes. Matty Crichton's been in and around squads previous years. So
He's a name that has been around a long time, so we have seen a wee bit of him maybe down the years. But
local kid at the Portadown College, so this will be another wee test here because you've experienced off, and there's only a couple of them on here now, and they're really going to have to step up here the last 20 odd minutes, but all capable.
Rakowski closing down the 1 point defence there, but they're able to come out of it and go to find McCaffrey, who finds Dunn. Goes inside to Dillon. Ball up the line to Masterson, but Smith is there to snuff that out, and they can clear hook round the corner and get it away for a 1 point Town throw. Dunn goes inside to Gallagher. Gallagher with a wee bit of room in front of him, but closed down well by Joe Williamson. Dunn the left hand side here looks to whip in a ball into the Portadown box, into the back post. They run a Wade Slater, but he can't get great contact on it, and the ball goes harmlessly over the bar.
Yeah, good ball in again. Jack probably just done enough to put him off and his stride, Wade Slater.
Hook over the top by Gallagher. Dillon can get a first touch on it and feed McCaffrey. Goes to Deasy. Inside to Gallagher, and Portadown, or Warrenpoint Town's players combining well here in the middle of midfield. McCaffrey picking up a deeper line spot here at the minute. Looking to dictate the play from a deeper role. Deasy trying to clip the ball over the top and going on to it, but his touch lets him down.
Not bad. They've contained them, let they've had the ball in the middle of the park where it's not it's not going to affect us, and they've spread a long ball wide. What was pleasing for me there, seeing Matty Crichton getting back and doubling up with Jack Ovens, and obviously then the ball just ran too far ahead of Deasy.
Closing down there by Rakowski, but he's called back for a foul. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm going to just go with it.
That's actually a good call. There's no way I'm picking that one up. Like, it's eager to be every day I see him.
Dillon in the middle of midfield here, looking to spread the ball wide to Wade Slater, and he does. Offense does well to get over across and hack the ball clear. Gallagher goes back to Wade Slater.
He's done a lot better now the second half, Jack. Tough shift for him in the first half, and it's always nice to see that they take the learning curve on board and improve. So he has improved the second half, so you can't ask any more than that from a kid.
A lot of young players might shy away from it when they know they're under a bit of pressure, but he stood up to the task and got himself back into the game.
And again, the characteristic you were asking earlier on, what does he look for? That's probably the one that he looks for. You know, he could easily have went down. I've seen many's a player in that situation will turn around and about 10 minutes, 5 minutes in the second half, puts a hand up and says, we pulling the hamstring or we nick here, and, you know, trying to get me off, and they've just won out of here. But that I'm not surprised. Jack, he'll take it on board, and if he's obviously had a tough wee outing in the first 45, and nothing to be ashamed of, a seasoned player in Wade Slater, and he's come out, and obviously Matthew has given instructions at half time to probably sit in a wee bit and not go as much forward, and he's done well. He's done okay.
And that's a big thing about a young player as well, especially players that have been around Portadown Youth a long time. They're coachable and they listen.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing for managers.
Yeah, I think it's a massive thing for anything. You know, attitude, commitment, and work for me is, you know, the three things that I'll look at for a player every day of the week. I've seen so many players come and go, or played with so many players who are a lot better than I'll ever be, but attitude and commitment wasn't there. And to me, you've always got a chance. If you have something in your locker, if you've got the attitude and commitment, and certainly the work rate and the work ethic, you have a wee chance to move up levels and certainly play above maybe the level that your natural talent is as such. So yeah, there's a lot of good kids who are willing to listen. Probably what we're trying to see after the likes of COVID is getting them a wee bit more talkative, getting them a wee bit to come out of themselves. It has been a big blow till. I'll just leave it there. Madison was it got in behind, but just to try and get them out of their shells, Mark, and we can see that 8 games in, the change room's starting to get a wee bit brighter. They're starting to talk, they're starting to have their crack. The jukeboxes came in, albeit it's something that would probably fit in Bennett's bar. It's that big. So it is. But no, it's good to see them getting into their zone, having a bit of crack, because you have to enjoy football at the same time.
Masterson twisting and turning there, trying to get away from the attention of Murphy, but Murphy gets himself back into it and forced to go back to Gallagher. He's
been unorthodox, guy, since he's come on, but he's been busy.
Turn the pace from him, isn't there?
Yeah.
Dylan comes inside, looking for a ball in the box, goes deep and finds Wade Slater. He straight away sees Ovens closing him down. He has to go back to Deasy. Good 1-2 between the two right-hand side players. Wade Slater looking for Sullivan. Touch off, gets Slater into some room here into the box. Finds a back post cross into
offside.
Madison, but his run was just behind the last Portadown defender and he's given offside.
Ball was probably the indication there for seeing it in the replay, maybe not. I think the ball was played forward there just at the last, which was, I just looked to see where the player was, but I noticed the ball maybe wasn't, but I thought
good
it was
link-up player from Warrenpoint to create the
yeah,
space.
so the ball's played forward and he's offside, yeah, clearly.
Portadown come forward here. Tipton goes wide to Robinson. Comes inside to Tipton, who tries to hook it over to the channel, but just gets too much on it and goes out for a throw.
Monty Robinson, another young kid, has done extremely well there tonight. You're talking a guy who's played no under-16s football last year due to COVID. He's rose through the ranks to 20s very quickly, and he's actually had COVID this year himself, so he's probably played a total of 4 under-20s games and about 3 under-18s games, maybe 7-8 games, and then he's playing the first team. It is a big ask and it's a big step at any level, so he's done extremely well and took everything in his stride as he normally does.
Funny, we were talking there, and we were talking at the half-time break as well. We're talking about coming out of the long COVID lockdown, players not being able to play football, young people not to do what they want to do and have that energy expulsion. And there is the issue of a lot of that impacting people's mental health, and it is important to get these guys playing football just for their own physical health and mental health. And it's going to affect everybody, and like we were talking before, and it's important for people just to talk and just to get those things off their chest and communicate with each other, isn't that right?
Very much so. That's what we preach to them the whole way through the thing. That's probably in the position of, albeit the busier, because it was I think I spoke it on an interview to you before about on the WhatsApp groups, but it was very important that we got the message through them that we're here, give us a shout at any stage, and that's the way we sort of come across. Yes, there's an element when we cross the line on a match day, as they have to be talked to and instructed, but when it's finished and they've took instructions on board, we're open here, and it was always come and have a chat if need be. And listen, I don't think people realise the fact that it's we're having these kids till later, and they've all come through it really, really well. There's another goal there. Just a wee bit of a
Alan O'Sullivan with the finish for Warrenpoint Town.
Good save from Harry, but again, just the reactions, and you can probably see at this stage, 10 minutes to go, you can see them getting a wee bit tired, and the levels have stepped up. With a Premiership team, will always, the pace of the game will affect them there. But yeah, very important that they came back from it, Mark. I think that was a big thing, as you said. About half time, and my view on anything like that, anyone knows me, and most people about the town, is what you see is what you get, and I try to be open and honest with everyone, and I've always been a one who, if I have ever had any problems, I'm able to go and have a chat to people and get it off the chest. Probably people get sick of listening to half the time, but it works for me anyway, so it does.
Absolutely. You've come into the Portadown under-20s job after a successful spell in charge at Hanover. How have you found the difference between a man's team and coming into not a youth setup, but it is a sort of it's a totally different way of managing.
Massive change, massive challenge, you know, for myself and Dean. You know, we'll work together, and you know, as we say, I'm his right hand man, he's my right hand man, whatever way you want to put it. But yeah, massive change, massive challenge. Enjoyed it. It's been another sort of side of the football that, you know, I've sampled a wee bit of when I was finishing. I went over and done a wee bit of Glenalm with Jordan McMahon and Pete Beatty in the reserves, and then just sort of got catapulted through to the Hanover manager very quickly. But I think there's just you've got to adapt, and there's a different emphasis on, you know, you've got to realise the age of these players, you know, and tonight some people say, beat 5 Portadown, beat 5-2 by Warrenpoint. You're talking a full Premiership team, and I've always said it down the years, and quietly, not outspokenly, but I've always said the bottom teams in the Premiership, people can come to matches and say what they like, but the standard of difference and the level between a bottom Premiership team to a top Championship team is massive, and you would have probably seen that yourself coming up through the Championship level. So yes, you have to adapt to them, and you have to sort of realise that they're 15, 16, 17-year-olds, and we asked a lot of them, like, we'll turn around very quickly here after the match and have to, you know, pull the squad together, but we'll have to get a team, and there will be guys playing tonight who will play tomorrow night away to Ballymena, and you're asking again mentally, can you know, go home, get ready, get up, go to your school, go to your whatever you have to go to, and then be in Ballymena for 6:30 tomorrow night. And that's just the way it is, because squads are light, and obviously he's got to pick a squad here tonight with a view to looking to keep players fresh for a big game at the Oval on Saturday. So yeah, it's been good. It's been a learning curve. We've both enjoyed it, and you know, we just keep learning, as you'll always learn football. Every day is a learning curve for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I always think of a squad underneath the first team is always tough, because you have players taking off you all the time. There's always arguments, you know, not arguments, but always debates about who plays where, what level, and it's going to be frustrating at times, but it's very rewarding at times when you see players that you've helped develop make their debuts for the first team and progress on as footballers and people. Yeah,
I think the big thing is what we've certainly seen, and what I see is sometimes when they actually come up and they actually play their potential going up, it's harder to get them to play their potential at their own level, because, you know, they are playing with better players when they step up, and it's the old Irish one that we always talking about. It's actually, if you've got any football ability, it's actually easier to play up the levels, so it is, than play down the levels. But yes, I think the view that I took from day one coming in, and a lot of people said, you'll never take instructions off people. People don't know me that well, but at the end of the day, Matthew Tipton's the boss. The first team comes first, the second team comes second, and the third team comes third. That's why they're called first, second and third. So, you know, I've found that their element pretty easy to understand, because it is what it is. So we will go tomorrow night with a very, very young squad, similar to what they're doing tonight, only at 20s level. And whatever happens, there'll be learning points to come out of it, because, you know, if we win the league for the seconds, and I described it there the night, if we come bottom of the league for seconds, and he has two boys playing his first team next year, and Linfield win the league and their squad released, you know, the ones in the better positions are the boys going into the first team. You know, so you've got to look at it upon that. Although there's leagues, although you've got to teach them how to win, and that's one of the things he wanted us to do. Very close there. You've got to have the element of it's developing them too, and for the best of the club. So if he needs him, he needs him. We go what we'll have to do. Simple as that.
And like, when you were a manager at Hanover, it was trophies. That's how you judged yourself. That's how you judged your club, and you won plenty. So you're used to that success. What do you determine as success as an under-20s manager? Because it isn't trophies. You know, that isn't your sole aim. Yes, if a trophy comes along, you'll take it, and you'll take it as an experience for the guys to learn winning. But do you see success in a performance, a development, or someone making a step up, or where do you derive your satisfaction from the job you're doing?
I think consistency has to come into form, and the point that I made earlier, you know, it's nice to see them come up, but my frustrating point is when they come down, if they don't give it the effort that they've given it when they've been up, and that, you know, that is a mental thing. Caught him behind again, is it? I thought I was maybe offside.
Smith with the header clear there, and
needs to get it cleared.
Completes.
Offside surely that time.
1 point on the attack here. questions of a penalty, but referee says no. Gallagher with the ball in the edge of the box, closed down by Tipton, but does well to twist out of it. Dillon trying to find the run of Matterson, and he does well to twist, but his effort is well wide.
Yeah, it went out there. Yeah, consistency, Mark. Probably just that I didn't want to continue there on the attack. Consistency for me, and it's, you know, if we can see someone, you know, from last year, the improvement levels going up and up and up, and you know, the kid there I've just spoke about, just the ball went out there, Matthew Robinson. You know, he looks at you in the eye when you're giving him instructions, and he wants to learn. Then he goes out and he performs to it. Yes, there will be mistakes along the way, but if you can see someone giving you the full effort and consistently performing at their level, and today then making his first team debut, to me that's, you know, your reward. So it is, you know. So, you know, listen, there's going to be, if you look across the squad, I think there's 36 players in their development squad, with that's 3 goalkeepers, and obviously you're including the Harry Murphys and the Glenfields and stuff like that there. A lot of these kids won't make it a Portadown, and that's just the fact. So what you try to teach them is, and what I've always thought, no matter what level you're at, you know, I want them to, if they don't make it here, to go away and play the best level of football they can. You know, I think it was the other week, Neil McCullough was at a watching a Lock All. Can't remember who it was. It was Lock All Queens or so. I can't remember, whatever it was, but there was something like 20. There was 20 players out of the whole match day squads that played for Portadown. Yeah. You know, so he got a buzz out of that. Yeah. You know, and I know you're sometimes sitting going, well, they're not a Portadown, but if they're not making it Portadown, you want to see them do right by them and make sure that they play at the highest level they can play.
I remember talking to Trevor Williamson a while ago, and there was never a point I really thought about too much, because I'm Portadown Central, that's all I focus on. I don't care about anybody else. But we were talking about development of players and the success stories that we have, and he said Lee Bonus, Luke Wilson, the ones that we know about, and then he started mentioning these other players, and I was like, oh, they don't play for us, and he was saying, no, there's this many players play for the Anna, there's this many players play for Loughgall.
In fact, that was the match. You know, there was the Anna against, you're quite right, there was the Anna against Loughgall.
So he was naming these players, and even going down to Mid Ulster level, he was naming so many players play for Hanover, so many players play for Laura Vale, whatever team, and that was a source of pride for him, that these players are still continuing loving football. Yep, I think that's a key thing.
That's the big thing that I've noticed coming in, that, you know, yes, of course, the winning that we done down there was really excitement, and don't get me wrong, I do miss that. I miss the challenge, the senior challenge and stuff like that there. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but the job I'm in now and the role I'm doing at the minute, it's a different angle, and I can see, you know, different wee traits that do give you a buzz, and those are certainly the things. I'll give you an example there. One of the first ones that probably gave me a buzz, and he's not playing here anymore, is Michael McCavitt. And Michael came to a stage Michael came to a stage and he was like asked a question at the end of the season, and you know, I think it was Dean turned around, and I don't know who we're all standing, and Dean says, listen, what you're going to hear here is Hainsey being honest, because that's the way, and I don't believe him saying anything else. But long story short, he's now one of the main players of Bamberstown this year. He's texting you to saying thanks for being honest. You know, he's went on playing well. We'll send him a text now and again to see how well he's doing. So wee things like that certainly give you a buzz, Mark, and obviously you want to see everyone making it, but football's a hard game. We all know it only too well, and it takes a lot of commitment, hunger and desire to make it at this level.
Absolutely. Well, listen, full time here at Shamrock Park. It is finished Portadown 2, Warrenpoint Town 5 in the quarter-final of the Mid Ulster Cup. So Warrenpoint Town progressed this evening, but that's not really the story of this evening. The story is Portadown got a lot of players out there that haven't played at this level too much, and they're getting that experience. Yes, Warrenpoint Town won the tie and will progress on to the next round, but Matthew Tipton will take positives out of this. We'll see sources of pride and somewhere with something that he can develop as well.
Yeah. Definitely, there's a few ones that stood out there and done well. I say about the reaction of Ben or Jack Ovens. I always call him Ben. I was talking to his dad out there, but Jack Ovens done really well second half. And obviously Matty Robinson stood out there and done well. There was others in the pitch too, but there's a big learning curve. And listen, these kids, the bottom line is, if you get up and you go to school tomorrow and you've said you made your first team debut at 16, I wasn't able to say that there. And listen, they will go to bed with a buzz on them tonight, and hopefully this can catapult them when they come to us tomorrow night and give them another. Some of them will have to play another 90 minutes, or certainly will have to manage it tomorrow night. But you know, for me, this is a big learning curve, and I think it's invaluable nights like this here, no matter about the result, you know, to get the players the minutes and and let them all see what the first team setup's like from start to finish is a really good way to go about it from Portadown, and which Tippy has done from he's come in here.
Listen, thank you for joining us this evening,
No
Steve.
problem.
It's been a pleasure bringing you the game this afternoon. Obviously, this game has been broadcast live on YouTube, so if you can drop us a like and a subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would be greatly appreciated. You can follow us on all different social media accounts. Our next game in the Danske Bank Premier League will be at the Oval this Saturday, playing Glensoran at 3 o'clock. So it's been a pleasure having you watch us this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the action and enjoyed the chat from myself and Stephen, and we will chat to you soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Here at 4-Star, we love pizza, and we want to give you more of it. Introducing 4-Star Pizza Rewards. Yes, finally a loyalty program you can roll with. Every time you order your favourites on 4starpizza.co.uk, you get points. Use the points to get rewards. Available by ordering online now. Love pizza? Don't already have an online account? Sign up to our rewards program today.